Jeff Fager, the executive producer of 60 Minutes, took over the writing of a book on the CBS show's 50-year history after objecting to the direction of the original author's research, according to 3 people familiar with how the book came to be.
The assignment originally went to Richard Zoglin, a former editor at Time magazine and the author of a 2014 biography of Bob Hope.
After having completed roughly a dozen interviews in 2015, however, Mr. Zoglin was summoned to meet with Mr. Fager, who told the writer that he was focusing too much on the negative.
Specifically, Mr. Fager expressed concern that Mr. Zoglin had asked his interview subjects about the treatment of women in the 60 Minutes workplace, according to 3 people who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe sensitive internal matters.
Mr. Fager also asked Mr. Zoglin why he had brought up the rocky tenure of Katie Couric, a one-time correspondent for the show and former CBS News anchor who left the network on bad terms.
The men agreed that Mr. Zoglin should leave the project.
In October, when 50 Years of 60 Minutes was published under Mr. Fager's name, the 400-page book included scant mention of the issues raised by Mr. Zoglin.
The winner of 145 Emmy Awards, 60 Minutes remains vital to CBS, regularly attracting a weekly audience of more than 12 million viewers and generating more than $100 million in annual advertising revenue.
The network marked the show's 50th anniversary with an hour-long retrospective clip fest on Sunday night, celebrating the correspondents, Mike Wallace, Morley Safer, Ed Bradley, and the big interviews, the Clintons, Ayatollah Khomeini, Bob Dylan, that have helped make it the longest-running news magazine program.
Continue reading the main story.
Related coverage.
Charlie Rose fired by CBS and PBS after harassment allegations November.
#21, 2017.
But concerns about sexual harassment at 60 Minutes have emerged over the years, dating back to the era before Mr. Fager succeeded the show's mercurial creator, Don Hewitt, as executive producer in 2004.
In 1991, 7 years after the show hired its first female correspondent, Diane Sawyer, 60 Minutes dropped Meredith Vieira from its roster of on-air reporters after she became pregnant with her second child.
"I need someone who can pull his or her own weight," Mr. Hewitt said in an interview with the New York Times at the time, adding that Ms.
Vieira's performance had been subpar.
She never made anybody sit up and take notice.